The auction wind at Liam sat alone in his workshop on a quiet space station orbiting Mars. He was a middle-aged human, not rich, not poor, just a man who liked to fix old things. He worked with tools all day, fixing broken ships for people who didn't even say thank you. That evening, he was eating cold noodles from a can while watching an online auction. Most of the items were junk, old ship parts, rusted droids, broken tech. He wasn't planning to buy anything, he was just bored. Then one item caught his eye. Ancient alien shuttle, sold as is, unknown origin, no return. The photo showed a small rusty spaceship. It looked half buried in sand, maybe found on some forgotten desert planet. It had weird symbols on the side and a large sealed hatch. Liam laughed. Who would want that? But something pulled him toward it. Maybe the strange shape, maybe the mystery. He clicked, place bid, just for fun. No one else bid. A message popped up on his screen. Congratulations, you won the item. Liam blinked. Wait, what? He had just bought an alien ship. 3 days later, the shuttle arrived at his dock. 2 delivery bots dropped it off and flew away. It was even uglier in person. Rusty metal, vines growing from cracks, and a soft hum like the ship was still dreaming. Liam looked at the hatch. It was locked, but he had tools. He grabbed his plasma torch and started cutting around the edges. The hatch popped open with a loud hiss. Darkness inside. A strange smell, like flowers and old books. Then he heard breathing. He froze. A figure moved in the shadows, small and thin. Then she stepped into the light. She was not human. An alien woman stood there blinking at the light. Her skin was silver blue, glowing softly. Her hair was long and white like snow. She wore strange armor made of dark leather and glowing stones. She looked at Liam with wide, glowing eyes. Then she dropped to her knees. Her voice was soft and shaky. I obey, master. Liam jumped back. Whoa! No, I'm not your master! She flinched, clearly confused. He raised both hands. It's okay. I'm not here to hurt you. The alien girl looked at him again. Her eyes searched his face like she was trying to read something. She whispered, You opened the door. The ship chose you. I belong to you now. Liam felt a chill. Wait, what are you talking about? Who are you? She stood slowly, still keeping her eyes low. My name is Kalara. I was bound to this ship as its guardian. When you won the vessel, you won me. Liam stared at her. This isn't right. You're not a thing to be won. Kalara tilted her head. That is not how my people see it. He could see the fear in her face. She wasn't angry. She wasn't aggressive. She looked tired and scared. I didn't know anyone was inside, he said gently. I thought this was just a ship. Kalara nodded. Most would have broken in and sold me. Or worse. Liam helped her down from the hatch. She moved slowly, like she hadn't walked in years. He gave her water. She drank it like she hadn't. Tasted clean liquid in forever. Later, he gave her a blanket and let her rest on the cot in his workshop. That night, Liam stared at the ceiling. What had he done? He didn't want to own anyone. He didn't want a servant. But this woman, this alien, had lived alone in a dead ship for who knows how long. And now, she thought she belonged to him. Tomorrow he would try to contact her, people, try to return her home. But for now she was safe, and for some reason, Liam couldn't shake the feeling that his life had just changed forever. The next morning, Liam woke up to the sound of humming. It wasn't his tools. It wasn't the old ship engines. It was soft and gentle, like a song without words. He walked into the workshop and saw Kalara kneeling on the floor, her hands placed flat on the cold metal. She was humming to the ship. What are you doing? He asked quietly. She looked up, calm and peaceful. The ship is alive in a way. Not like a human, but it remembers. I'm talking to it. Liam stepped closer, still amazed by everything that had happened. You were inside that ship all this time? Kalara nodded. I was in stasis, a deep sleep. My body was frozen, but my mind was waiting. Waiting for what? For someone to open the door? Liam rubbed the back of his neck. And now you think you belong to me? She stood up slowly. Not think, Liam. I do belong to you. He frowned. No, you don't. People can't be owned. Kalara tilted her head, trying to understand his words. In my world, a guardian is linked to a ship. The ship cannot choose a new master unless the old one is gone. When you won the ship, it bonded to you. And I was part of that bond. But I don't want that kind of bond, Liam said, his voice firm. Kalara looked down. Then I will leave if you command it. No, I'm not commanding anything, he said quickly. I just want to help you. You don't owe me anything. She walked toward the ship and gently touched one of its control panels. The screen lit up under her fingers. Symbols glowed and moved. Liam couldn't read them, but Kalara could. This ship was made by a race that no longer exists, she explained. The Valari. I was their creation, a living key, a guide. I was trained to obey, to serve, to protect the pilot. And now? Kalara smiled faintly. Now I am lost. The Valari are gone. The stars have changed. And I only understand one thing. I was given to you. Liam sighed. All right, then let's figure this out together. Later that day, Liam tried to contact the Galactic Embassy. He wanted to report Kalara's presence to find her a way back home. But the answer was disappointing. The system she was from? Unknown. Her species? Not registered. The Valari? Classified as extinct. Liam stared at the screen. You're not, even in their records. Kalara didn't seem surprised. I told you I'm part of something forgotten. Liam looked at her. Then where will you go? She said nothing. She simply walked back to the ship, her fingers trailing across its surface like she was touching an old friend. That night, Liam made soup and offered her a bowl. She sat across from him, eating quietly. Why did they make you like this? He asked. You're not a robot. You feel things. Kalara set the bowl down. The Valari believed machines could not protect what they did not love. So they created guardians like me, part organic, part mind, part soul. We feel loyalty, pain, happiness. Liam shook his head. You deserve to be free. Kalara's voice was soft. I don't know what freedom means. It means you get to choose your path, Liam replied. No master, no orders, just your own life. She looked into his eyes for a long time. Then what if I choose to stay with you? Liam blinked. What? You didn't lock me up. You fed me. You gave me space. That is more kindness than I have ever known. But you don't even know me. I know enough. You are not like the others. Silence fell between them. Kalara whispered, You call it freedom. I call it peace. Liam leaned back in his chair. This wasn't what he expected when he clicked on that auction link. He had wanted spare parts, not a lost soul. And yet here she was, not asking for anything, just offering her trust. He nodded slowly. All right, you can stay, but not as property, as a guest, as a friend. Kalara smiled, small but real. Friend, she repeated. The word felt strange on her tongue, but it warmed her. Outside the workshop, the stars continued to shine, but far away, someone had seen that auction too. Someone who knew what Kalara really was, and they wanted her back. The next morning, Liam stood at the docking station's terminal, tapping buttons on a dusty screen. He had made up his mind. He would give Kalara a choice, a real one. He looked over his shoulder. Kalara was standing near the ship, watching. Small birds flutter above the hangar lights. She seemed quiet but calm, like she was waiting for something. I've been searching all night, Liam said, walking over to her. I found a few refugee worlds, places where you could go and start fresh. Kalara turned toward him, confused. Start what? Your life, Liam replied. Without me, without being tied to a ship. You could live free, work, learn whatever you want. Kalara blinked slowly. You want me to go? No, that's not what I said. I just want you to have a real choice. You don't owe me anything. You can leave. Be free. Her face turned, cold. Leave, she repeated. Liam nodded. If that's what you want, you're not my responsibility. Kalara's hands clenched. You think I'm still a prisoner, don't you? What? No. You think I stay because I was trained to serve, because I don't know better. But I do know, she snapped. Liam was stunned. She had never raised her voice before. I could have walked away, Kalara said. I know how to open the outer gates. I know how to fly that ship. I've studied, hundreds of star maps burned into its memory. If I wanted to run, I would have done it last night. Then why are you still here? She stepped closer. Because you were the first person in my life who looked at me and saw more than a tool. And that scared me. But it also made me feel alive. Liam swallowed. I didn't mean to push you away. I thought I was helping. Kalara's voice softened. You are, but freedom isn't just walking away, it's deciding who I want to be. And I want to be here with you for now. Liam stared at her. There was no fear in her eyes anymore. Only fire. All right, he said. Then we'll stay. Together. Kalara's lips curved slightly. Thank you, friend. Over the next few days, Kalara helped around the workshop. She was faster than any assistant Liam had ever had. She could learn a machine's layout just by touching it. She rewired a broken hover bike in less than an hour and restored an old cargo drone using only scraps. But she always made time to talk with the ship. Her connection to it was deep, almost like family. Liam watched her one night as she placed her hands on the pilot's chair and closed her eyes. What do you feel when you do that? He asked. Kalara opened her eyes slowly. Memories. Not mine. The ship's. Long journeys. Battles. Quiet nights floating through empty stars. I feel its pain. Pain. The ship was alive once. Now it is lonely. Like me. Liam sat beside her. Maybe we both found it for a reason. Kalara turned her head. Maybe it found us. They sat in silence after that. It wasn't awkward, just quiet. One night the silence broke. The workshop alarm blared. Liam ran to the control panel and saw flashing red. Unauthorized scan detected. Tracking signal found. Someone just pinged our location, he said, heart racing. Kalara rushed to the terminal. Her face darkened. They found me. Who? Liam asked. Buyers, traders, hunters. There are people in this galaxy who collect guardians like me. For entertainment. Or power. Liam's hands curled into fists. You're not going anywhere. Kalara looked at him. They'll come for me. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow, but they will. Then we fight, Liam said. Or we run, but we don't give up. Kalara stared at him, surprised. You would risk that? For me? Liam stepped closer. You chose to stay. Now I choose to protect you. No more auctions. No more chains. For a long time, Kalara said nothing. Then she whispered, Then I will teach you how to fly the ship. He blinked. Wait, me? Fly that thing? She smiled. You're the pilot now, remember? The ship chose you. That night, Kalara returned to the ship alone. She placed her hand on the heart crystal deep in the ship's core and whispered in her language. Old lights flickered. Systems awoke. The ship responded like it had been waiting. Waiting for its new family. Waiting for war. Or freedom. The ship's warning lights glowed orange. Liam stood in the cockpit with Kalara beside him. Her fingers moved quickly across the ancient control panel, bringing up a screen full of symbols. The symbols pulsed in a strange rhythm, like a heartbeat out of sync. They're close, she said, her voice low. Who? Liam asked, though deep down, he already knew. Kalara turned to him, her silver blue face calm but serious. Not just one, 3 vessels, all with bounty signals. They're after me. Liam stepped back and ran a hand through his messy hair. How do they even know where we are? She pointed to a glowing dot on the map. Someone activated the ship's core beacon before we cleaned the system. It sent a pulse. Liam cursed under his breath. So we've been shining like a lighthouse in deep space. Kalara nodded. And now the wolves are circling. Hours later, the ships arrived. Dark shapes moving through the stars like predators. From a distance, Liam could see their designs. One was sharp and fast, a bounty hunter ship. The second looked more like a floating cage, used for transporting live cargo. The third, a merchant cruiser, sleek and full of gold trim, definitely wealthy, probably dangerous. They're hailing us, Kalara said, eyes on the screen. Put them through. A face appeared, pale and thin, with skin that looked like stretched paper. The alien wore a high collar and jewels. I am Collector Varn, the voice hissed. You have property that belongs to me. Liam stepped in front of the screen. She's not property, she's a person. Varn's eyes narrowed. She is a Guardian-class biointelligence, the last of her kind. She was never meant to be free. Kalara stayed silent, watching. You bought the ship, Varn continued. You own the system. That includes her. Sell her to me and walk away alive. Liam growled. Not for any price. The collector smiled coldly. Then I will take her by force. The screen went dark. Kalara walked over to the weapons console. They're charging cannons. Liam nodded. Then we fight. She looked at him sharply. You don't have to do this. I know, he replied. But I want to. Kalara reached into the command console and pulled out a crystal. This is the ship's combat key. Only the pilot can activate the full system. Liam took the crystal in his hand. It felt warm, almost alive. Put it in the core, Kalara said. The ship will recognize you. Liam ran to the engine room. Deep inside the glowing chamber, he found a round slot shaped like the crystal. He placed it inside. The ship shuddered. Lights snapped on across every wall. Old systems came to life. The engines roared. Kalara's voice echoed over the comms. They're firing. Liam raced back. The ship shook as lasers hit the outer shield. He dropped into the pilot seat. Kalara pointed at the screen. Aim here. Their weak spot is below the hull. Liam pulled the trigger. The old cannon fired. A direct hit, one of the ships pulled away, damaged. Nice shot, Kalara shouted. But then the cage ship sent out drones, spinning machines with claws and nets. They're trying to capture the ship, Kalara warned. Liam steered hard, spinning the vessel through debris. The ship groaned, but it held. Kalara released counter-drones, tiny defense bots with sharp blades. The battle turned into chaos, metal clashing, lasers flashing, alarms screaming. But through it all, Liam and Kalara moved as one. They didn't need words anymore. He flew, she fought. Together they survived. Finally, after what felt like hours, the last enemy ship broke away and jumped to hyperspace. Liam slumped in his seat, covered in sweat. Kalara checked the damage. Shields are down to 20%. Hull has cracks, but engines are stable. Liam gave a tired smile. We did it. Kalara sat beside him. You fought for me. He looked at her. Of course I did. No one ever has, she said, softly. They sat in silence for a moment, breathing the quiet after the storm. Then Liam said, They'll be back, won't they? Kalara nodded. The galaxy is wide, but the greedy always follow. Liam looked out the window at the stars. Then we need to move. Go somewhere they can't follow. She smiled. I know a place. A dead zone where old ships go to hide. No signals, no traders. Just silence. Let's go, he said. Kalara turned to the console and the ship responded to her touch. As the stars shifted and the ship turned, Kalara whispered, Thank you, Liam. Not just for saving me, but for seeing me. Liam didn't answer. He just smiled, because he knew this wasn't just a fight for freedom. It was the beginning of something neither of them had ever known before. The stars around them were cold and endless. Liam gripped the controls as the ship sped toward a region Kalara called the Drift, a no-signal zone full of broken satellites, ghost ships, and gravity wells. The perfect place to hide. But Liam knew it wasn't just about hiding anymore. They had poked the nest. Now they had to be ready to strike back. The drift was darker than space should be. The light from nearby stars didn't reach this far. Old wrecks floated in silence, ships shattered in forgotten wars. Some looked human. Others were unrecognizable, like creatures turned into metal. Kalara pointed to a derelict freighter. "We can dock there. Use its shell as cover while we repair." Liam guided the ship forward. The docking clamps latched with a heavy thunk. He killed the engines. Silence returned. He turned to Kalara. "How bad is the damage?" She touched the wall, eyes closed. "Main shield array is unstable," she said. "Weapons are overheating. One more battle like that and we won't survive." Liam sighed. "Then we fix it." He pulled off his jacket and went straight to the repair bay. Kalara joined him, kneeling beside the energy conduit. Together they worked in silence. Sparks flew. Wires crackled. For the first time in a long while, Liam felt focused, like he was doing more than surviving. He was building something, protecting something, maybe even someone. Later that night, Kalara brought him water. "You haven't rested," she said. "I will after this," Liam replied, tightening a bolt. She sat beside him, watching. "You've changed," she said softly. Liam looked up. "What do you mean?" "When I first met you, you were quiet, careful, like someone used to being alone. But now your eyes are different, sharper, braver." Liam smiled. "I guess I had something worth protecting this time." Kalara looked down. Her voice was quiet. "You still don't know what I really am." Liam set his tool down. "Then tell me." She took a deep breath. "I wasn't just a guardian. I was a war construct. The Valari built me to protect, yes, but also to kill. I have combat programming. Deep inside, I was made for battle, not peace." Liam was silent. Kalara stood. "I've hidden that part of me for years, afraid it would make me a monster. But now, I think I need to remember who I really am." Liam stood too. "Whatever you were made for, it doesn't control you. You do." Her eyes searched his face. "Even if I fight again?" "Especially then." The next day the ship shook, just once but hard. Kalara was on her feet in seconds. "Someone just landed." Liam ran to the control panel. The motion sensors lit up. A small boarding ship had docked with the freighter. Then came a sound. Slow metal footsteps. Liam grabbed his tool blade. "How did they find us?" Kalara opened a hidden compartment in the ship's wall. Inside was something Liam had never seen before. A black suit made of living metal. "This was my armor," she said, touching it. "I never wanted to wear it again. But I must now." Before Liam could respond, the armor flowed onto her like liquid, wrapping around her body. Her eyes glowed silver. Her voice became deeper, calm, deadly. "They want a guardian?" she said. "They're about to meet one." She stepped outside into the freighter. Liam followed, carefully. There, waiting for them, stood 3 bounty hunters. One was a hulking beast with 4 arms and heavy cannons. Another was slim, masked and fast, blades at her side. The last was a robotic sniper, already aiming. Kalara walked forward. "No one takes me," she said. The battle began instantly. Kalara moved like lightning, dodging blasts, striking with glowing fists. She knocked the fast one across the corridor and slammed the big one into the wall. Liam ducked behind cover, using his tool blade to disable the sniper's legs. "You fight well for a mechanic," Kalara called out. "Learn from the best. Liam shouted back. Together, they cleared the ship in minutes. The last hunter tried to crawl away, bleeding and coughing. Kalara knelt beside him. "Who sent you?" she demanded. He gasped. "Varn. Won't stop." Then he passed out. Liam walked over, breathing hard. "So it was Varn again," Kalara nodded. "And he knows how to track us." They stared at the stars outside the cracked hull. "He won't give up," Liam said. "So what now?" Kalara stood, the glow fading from her armor. "Then, we stop running," she said. "We take the fight to him." Liam smiled. "Now that sounds like a plan." That night, as they floated through the drift, Liam watched Kalara as she removed her armor and placed it back into its compartment. "You really are full of surprises," he said. She looked at him with soft eyes. "And you are not the man I thought would save me. But I'm glad it was you." They didn't speak after that. But they didn't need to. They had fought together. They had bled together. Now, they were preparing for the real battle ahead. The stars over Varela Station were brighter than any Liam had ever seen. It was a neutral world, floating on the edge of 3 trade routes. No wars, no weapons, no bounty hunters. Just silence, law, and peace. At least for now. Liam and Kalara had landed for repairs. The fight in the drift had pushed the ship to its limit. More than that, Kalara's armor had cracked. It needed time to heal. So did they. Liam walked with her down the market path, where aliens of every shape and size moved through glowing archways. Vendors called out in different languages. Small drones zipped above them, advertising local hotels and healing centers. Kalara wore a long cloak, her silver skin mostly hidden. Even here, guardians were rare. Some might try to claim her, if they knew what she really was. She stayed, close to Liam. They entered the Hall of Identity, a place where travelers registered their names and ships. The goal? To erase old records and make new beginnings. Inside, a wide alien woman sat behind a glowing desk. Her face was kind, but her eyes were sharp. She looked at Liam and Kalara with interest. "Name?" she asked. "Liam Stray," he said. "Origin? Earth? Purpose of visit? Refuel? Repair? Maybe restart?" The clerk raised an eyebrow. "She with you?" Liam looked at Kalara. "Yes." The clerk narrowed her eyes. "She's not from any known system." Kalara stayed silent. The clerk leaned in. "Be honest, is she a guardian?" Liam nodded slowly. "She is." The room fell quiet for a second. "You know what that means, right?" the clerk said. "If you don't register her properly, anyone with bounty rights can claim her." Kalara's hand tensed under her cloak. Liam asked, "How do I protect her?" The clerk stared at him. "You want the only option that stops all legal claims?" He nodded. "Then you need to declare her as your mate, spouse, bonded partner, call it what you want. Once bonded, no bounty can override it. She becomes family, and that can't be broken under Varela law." Liam stood frozen. Kalara didn't move either. The clerk looked between them. "I've seen it before. Some do it to protect some for other reasons. Doesn't matter. The bond is real and it's permanent." Liam turned to Kalara. "What do you want?" Kalara's voice was calm. "I want to be safe, but not if it means a lie." "It wouldn't be a lie," Liam said, his voice quiet. Kalara's eyes met his. "Then say it." Liam stepped forward and looked at the clerk. "Register her as my partner." The clerk typed quickly. "Very well. I'll need both thumbprints." Kalara removed her glove. Liam reached out. Their thumbs pressed onto the scanner at the same time. The screen blinked. "Partnership registered." Kalara looked down at her hand. Liam felt like his chest was full of stars. The clerk handed them a small card. "You're official now. Congratulations. Or condolences." Later, they sat on the rooftop of a quiet inn. The night air was soft and cool. Kalara looked up at the stars, the wind brushing her hair across her face. Liam sat beside her, legs hanging over the edge. "You okay?" he asked. She nodded. "I didn't expect today to end with a bond." He smiled. "Yeah, me neither." Kalara turned her head. "You didn't have to do that." "I know. You could have left me." "I know." She was quiet for a moment. Then she whispered, "You're not like the others. When I was made, they told me I would serve my entire life, that I was a tool, not a person. But today I felt human." "You are," Liam said. Kalara looked down. "Then why do I still feel like I don't belong?" Liam reached into his pocket and pulled out the partnership card. He held it between them. "Because it takes time," he said. "To believe. You're more than what they made you. But I see you, not as a weapon, not as a slave, as Kalara." She took the card from his hand and smiled. A real, full smile. Soft, strong, glowing. The next morning, Liam woke to a warning. Someone had broken into the ship's system. Kalara rushed to the console. Her eyes glowed bright. "It's him, Varn. He cracked the bond log. He knows I'm registered now." "Will it stop him?" Liam asked. Kalara shook her head. "It will slow him, but men like him don't obey law. They only obey power." Liam stood tall. "Then we need to show him something stronger." Kalara turned to him. "Like what?" Liam reached into the storage and pulled out a star map. "We find where he lives, where he hides, and we bring the fight to him." Kalara stepped forward. "Together?" Liam smiled. "Husband and wife, it's only fair." She blinked, then laughed, a sound Liam had never heard from her before. It was the beginning of something fierce, and something beautiful. Liam had always thought of himself as a fixer, not a fighter, not a hero, just a man who took broken things and made them whole again. But now, he wasn't fixing a broken engine. He was flying a battle-worn ship toward the most dangerous collector in the galaxy, Varn. And beside him stood a woman born to serve, trained to fight and taught never to love, yet who now wore the title of his wife, Kalara, his bride, his partner, his chosen. Their ship cut through space like a silent blade. The stars were sharp, distant, and cold, but the cockpit felt warm, filled with quiet trust and shared breath. Kalara sat beside Liam, watching the star map glow. Her fingers moved across the controls. She was calm, focused, ready. But inside her heart, something trembled. It wasn't fear. It was hope. A dangerous thing. They arrived at Varn's lair, the Collector's Crown, a space fortress carved into a dying moon, protected by swirling mines, war drones, and 3 golden warships. Kalara spoke first. "Once we enter, there is no turning back." Liam looked at her. "Good. I don't want to turn back." She glanced at him, silver eyes glowing. "Then let's end this." The ship's stealth drive activated. Lights dimmed. They slipped through the minefield like a whisper in the dark. But the moment they reached the outer gate, the alarm screamed. So much for stealth. Inside the crown, Varn waited. He sat on a throne made of melted guardian armor, his thin fingers tapping against his chin. Around him stood guards, tall, brutal, silent. "She is coming," he said, smiling coldly. One servant bowed. "The bonded human is with her." Varn's eyes narrowed. "Foolish man. He thinks the bond protects her. But I will tear that bond apart. I will make her watch him die." Back in the ship, chaos had begun. Missiles flew, shields dropped. Lasers screamed across the hull. Liam dodged and rolled, engines flaring. Kalara returned fire, her hands glowing as she channeled the ship's ancient power systems. Then, boom, a warship clipped their wing. The ship spun, tumbling toward the surface of the moon. Liam shouted, "Hold on!" They crashed hard, metal twisting, glass shattering. But the cockpit held. Smoke filled the air. Sparks flew. Liam coughed, pulling Kalara from the wreck. "Are you hurt?" She stood, armor forming over her body. Not yet. They ran toward the fortress, and every step they took felt like thunder. Inside the crown's dark halls, they fought their way through guards. Kalara's strikes were fire and lightning. Liam stayed close, blaster in hand, covering her back. At one point, a guard nearly sliced Liam's chest, but Kalara caught the blade midair, her hand bleeding but strong. "Don't touch what's mine," she growled. They reached the throne room, and Varn was waiting. "Beautiful Kalara," he said, standing slowly. "You were always meant to kneel before me." Kalara stepped forward. "I kneel to no one." Varn sneered. "Even now you pretend to be free. But you were built to obey." Liam stepped beside her. "Then explain this. Why is she still standing?" Varn's eyes burned. "Because I haven't broken her yet." He lifted his hand, and the room's walls came alive. Mechanical arms reached down, defense turrets whirled, shock beams powered. Up, Kalara whispered. "Liam, stay back." "No," he said. "This time I fight beside you." Varn laughed. "Then die together." The room exploded into war.